I've always wanted to make one of these. Wall tapestries are very popular right now, and every time I see one, I want to make one. So finally, I did. The 7-stitch wall tapestry is my very own design. It includes the textured stitch, the rib stitch, the first stitch or the Astrakhan stitch, the post rib stitch, the bobble stitch, the diamond stitch, and last but not least, the extended treble crochet stitch pattern. All of these stitch patterns had multiple stitch count requirements that worked with each other, and combining these stitches together actually works out really well. They look really beautiful with each other and they complement each other very well. I'm so excited to show you how to make this. It's gonna be great. The level of this crochet stitch project, this pattern, I'm gonna label it as intermediate level crochet pattern. During this video, I'm going to be moving rather quickly, assuming that you already know how to do basic crochet stitches. If you are an absolute beginner or just a beginner and the video moves too quickly for you, you can check the settings of the video, hit playback speed, and you can slow down the speed of the video, and hopefully that can help you to catch on to the stitches and see everything a little more slowly, opposed to how quickly I am moving from one stitch to the next, because I have 7 stitches here that I'm teaching you how to do on top of color changes and pattern transitions. So there's a lot happening in this video. It's going to be a long video. Hang in there with me, because at the end of this video you will have made an incredible project that you will be proud to hang on your wall. I'm so excited. The pattern for the 7-stitch wall tapestry you can find in both the description section and comment section below this video. All you have to do is click on the link, purchase the pattern, be ready to crochet with me. As always, you do not need to purchase the pattern to make this project. I will have the step-by-step instructions on the screen for you to follow along with and make this pattern. This is a long pattern though, and there's a lot going on. I highly recommend you get the pattern so that way you can follow along, or at least get through a section and then come back to the video and see how I transition to the next section. So the pattern will be a pretty big deal, but again, it's not necessary to make this project. This is also, the 7-stitch tapestry is also March's kit box. So if you want to get all of the materials that I used to make my very own 7-stitch wall tapestry, go to my website, crochetwithtiffany.com, go to my kits section, and you will see the whole kit to make this incredible wall tapestry will be there. So if you want to just get everything that I used on mine, you can do so. These kits do go quickly. I will try to restock as needed as I can, but if you want to get your hands on a kit box, I recommend that you head over there quickly to grab one. All right. Okay, so don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That way you don't miss my future videos. Check out my membership program. I have 2 levels that I think you're going to love if you want a little bit more out of my channel to feel more a part of what's going on. Check out my membership programs. Also, if you want behind the scenes action, my Instagram is where you want to be. That's where I'm going to have material prep. I'm going to show you what it's like behind the camera, and there's just some great pictures, great interactions that I show you that you can't get here on my YouTube channel. All right, when you are ready to go, let's dive into what materials I used to make this 7-stitch wall tapestry. The yarn that I used for this project includes Loops and Threads Impeccable in the color Aran, Loops and Threads Impeccable in the color Pale Gray, Loops and Threads Impeccable in the color Gold, and last but not least, Lion Brand Wool Ease in the color Flint. I really loved all of these colors. They took on the exact look that I desired, and so I was super happy with these. If you needed a different comparable yarn to what I utilized, you could absolutely get away with, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. Any of the Red Heart brand yarn will work great, or Vanna's Choice yarn would work up beautifully for this particular project as good substitution yarn. This is a size 4 weight worsted medium Aran 10-12 ply or 8 WPI size yarn. So if you need to utilize the size alone to get the materials for this project, that will help you out there. The reason why I chose this particular yarn was because it hit the exact colors that I desired, and it wasn't so much yarn that I would have a lot of yarn waste at the end of the project, whereas I think with the other brands that I mentioned, there would be a lot of excess yarn after the project if you got those larger skeins. This project also does include wool, so if you have a wool allergy, you can substitute this out and just replace one of those other comparable yarns in for that yarn if you would like. I really liked the idea of having different yarn fibers in the project and how they would look when crocheted together, and that was really neat, just adding an extra emphasis on the project. The next thing we're going to talk about is the dowel rod. So the dowel rod that you will need is at least 12 inches wide. You don't want anything shorter than 12 inches because then the project will not fit on it. This is literally the shortest dowel rod that you should use. You can use anything longer if you want. That's totally fine. Just this one I am using is 12 inches long. I am using one that looks more natural. The wood is a more natural look, which I thought really added to the whole project look. But you can, of course, use whatever dowel rod that you want to utilize. I will have links to everything that I am using in the description section and comment section below this video. So if you don't know where to find anything like this, just click on that link, purchase it, and have it shipped directly to you to make it easy peasy. All right, and the thickness of the dowel rod does not matter. It doesn't. Don't even worry about that. The only thing I want you to take into consideration is nothing shorter than 12 inches wide. For your crochet hook, I want you to utilize the G7 or 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. That's what I am utilizing for this project. A pair of scissors will come in handy through all of the color changes and everything that you're doing in this project. A yarn needle or tapestry needle to weave in all of those mini ends that we will have. And last but not least, for the materials section, we will be blocking our wall tapestry because you will notice that the sides of the wall tapestry are not naturally flat. They're not naturally straight. All of the different tensions for the stitches used, it's going to be very warped on the sides of the wall tapestry. So we block it to make the sides of the wall tapestry as straight as possible to really just add that finishing touch to it. So I recommend having 4 foam mats. You can choose if those foam mats have the grid on them or not. That's not completely necessary, though it is extra helpful. So 4 of the mats, and then the stainless steel T-pins there. Those work up really well with blocking in general. And I'm actually going to show how I block in the video just to help you out, though I do have a blocking video on my channel if you want other strategies for blocking. And again, all materials that I show you, I'm going to have links for them in the description section and comment section below this video if you need help getting your hands on anything. All right, when you are ready to go, you have the pattern or you are just ready to dive in, you have all the materials, let's go ahead and get started making our wall tapestry. All right, we will begin with the bottom of the tapestry and work our way to the top. I'm going to start with this gold color as my first color. The very first stitch that we are going to be working up is called the textured stitch, and it utilizes the treble crochet stitch and single crochet stitch. So we will begin with a long enough tail to weave in any end, slip knot, attaching crochet hook. Great. We will start by chaining 36 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 35, 36. Beautiful. For row 1, we will single crochet in the second chain from our crochet hook. Remember that the loop on our hook does not count. V stitches 1, 2, single crochet, and you will start by making 1 single crochet stitch in every stitch space all the way across. You should end row 1 with a total of 35 stitches. "34, 35. Great, made it to the end of row 1. To get to row 2, we will chain 1, we will turn our work. We will begin row 2 by single crocheting in the first stitch space. And then the repeat pattern for row 2 will be treble crochet, single crochet, treble crochet, single crochet. Repeating this pattern all the way across to the end. You should end row 2 with a total of 35 stitches. All right, go ahead and continue this pattern. I'll meet you at the end of row 2 to show you what we do next. .34, and you should end row 2 with a single crochet stitch in the very last stitch space, which is number 35. Perfect, just finished row 2. To get onto row 3, we will chain 1, we will turn our work, and now you can see that beautiful texture stitch. That is so, so pretty. All right, so for row 3, we will single crochet in the first stitch space. And then for row 3, we are just making 1 single crochet in each stitch space all the way across. You should end row 3 with a total of 35 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 34, and 35. Just finished row 3. So this is roughly what you should be looking at right now, the pattern that should be worked up on your end. Now for row 4 through the end of row 13, all we are doing is repeating row 2 and row 3. Row 2 is the textured stitch with the treble crochets, and row 3 is making 1 single crochet in every stitch across. So go ahead and continue on. Next row repeat would be a row 2 repeat, and I will meet you at the end of row 13 to show you what we do next. Great, we have just finished row 13. This is the end of section 1 and what you should be looking at right now. Go ahead and grab your scissors. Cut a long enough tail for us to weave in our ends at the end of the project. Yarn over, tie off your work. Perfect. Now what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you flip this textured part, flip your work over as if you were about to start your new row. Grab the gray color here, starting with a tail long enough for us to weave in our end, create our slip knot, attach our crochet hook. Perfect, and we are ready to begin. So we start by slip stitching into the very first stitch space just to attach the yarn to the project. Then we will chain 1 and single crochet in the back loop only of that same stitch we just slip stitched into. And that is going to be the repeat pattern for row 14, is just making 1 single crochet in the back loop only of every stitch all the way across. Go ahead and continue on. I'll meet you at the end of row 14 to show you what to do next. And 35. Perfect. To move on to row 15, we will chain 1. Oops. Do that again. Chain 1. Turn our work. Now for row 15, what we are going to do is we're actually going to single crochet in the left behind loop from row 14. So we will be working in this gold color, that left behind loop, making 1 single crochet stitch in that loop all the way across for row 15. You should end row 15 with a total of 35 single crochet stitches. So here we go. Left behind loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, just finished row 15, and you should notice that by working in the back loops only of the remaining loop from row 14, that by doing that, it really pushed row 14 forward, creating this really cool textured look with the row really sticking out the front of the work. See how it does that? And by doing this, it creates a very defined line and a great break between the two pattern differentiation. It looks really clean, really good, and I really enjoy this particular stitch, especially when I'm working multiple patterns. All right, so for row 16 through the end of row 19, all we are doing is repeating row 14 and row 15. That's all we're doing. This stitch particularly is known as a version of the rib stitch. So if I didn't say that before, wanted to make sure you knew what this stitch right here, the second section is called a rib stitch. All right, so go ahead and continue working row 16. I will meet you at the end of row 19 to show you what we do next. So again, single crochet, back loop only. Perfect. Here we go. And 35. Remember, we're trying to stick to 35 stitches in each row here to stay on count. All right, by the end of row 19, you should see 3 protruding rows here of your work, and then ending with that single crochet back loop only row here to just tie it off. All right, we are now ready to switch colors and switch patterns, entering a new section of the work. Let's go ahead and cut a long enough tail for us right here to weave in our ends at the end of the work. Yarn over, pull through to tie off. Great. Okay, so let's flip our work because we're going to be working a new row. Grab that charcoal greenish color. It's like a combination. If by itself it looks charcoal, but when you attach it or combine it with other colors, it kind of looks more it has a green tint to it, which is really pretty. Starting with a long enough tail for us to weave in our ends, slip knot, attach our crochet hook. Great, so let's go ahead and start by slip stitching into the very first stitch of the row to attach our new colored yarn to the project. Great. And now what we are going to be working, this new section, the stitch is called a first stitch or an Astrakhan stitch. It actually had a couple different names, but I'm going to just stick with those two because they seemed to be the most familiar. First stitch, Astrakhan stitch. What we're going to do to work this stitch is chain 7 right off the bat, just chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then slip stitch into the back loop only of the next stitch space. Boom. And then chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slip stitch into the back loop only of the next stitch space. So that is all we are going to be doing, repeating for row 20. We are on row 20 right now. Just repeat that all the way across. Chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then slip stitch into the back loop only of the next stitch space. Try to keep all of these little loopies that we are making pushed towards the back on this side of the work, just to help you keep things out of the way and not get too intrusive with your work and what you're doing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great, we've reached the end of row 20. To move on to row 21, we will chain 1, turn our work, and now we will see all of these textures that we want to start working on top of. So we are going to push all of those textured loopies forward, revealing to us that left behind loop from row 20. What we are going to do for row 21 is single crochet in that left behind loop from row 20. So in single crocheting inside that gray loop, you should end row 21 with a total of 35 single crochet stitches. So this is a great opportunity for you to count your stitches, making sure you are staying on track. That way we can make sure the sides of our tapestry stay straight. And 35, perfect. All right, so moving forward, row 22 through the end of row 29, all we are doing is repeating row 20, which is these giant loopy, the first stitch, and row 21, which is single crocheting in that left behind loop from the row before. So all we are doing is repeating row 20 and row 21 through the end of row 29. Now, as you are working, you will notice that all of the texture is going to stay on one side of the work. The other side of the work we want to keep very flat. So if you start working the first stitch on this side of the work, it should be a good indicator that I think I'm making the wrong stitch right now, because we want this side to be completely flat and all of the texture to be on the other side of the work. Great. And then also, as you are working these stitches, working more of this first stitch, it is going to get crowded. So just keep pushing it down, trying to get it out of your way. Moving on to row 22, we do chain 1. We turn our work. Start by slip stitching into the back loop only of the very first stitch space, and then begin your chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slip stitch, back loop only of the next stitch space. All right, I think you got this. I think that you are ready to rock and roll. Let's go ahead and continue on, and I'll meet you at the end of row 29 to show you what to do next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, just finished the end of row 29 here. We're gonna go ahead and cut off our work, tie off our work, and change our color so that way we can start working the next section. So yarn over, pull through, tie off. Perfect. Look at this first stitch and how just dense it is. It's very, very cool. If you're worried at all about how dense it is and the overture, we're gonna fix that. So don't even think about the sides right now, okay? Flip your work. So you're looking at the back. Grab your gray color again. Go ahead and create a slip knot, leaving a long enough tail for you to weave in any ends. Perfect. Slip stitch into the very first stitch space. There we go. All right, so for row 30, or this whole next section, we're just repeating the section before the rib stitch. That's all we are doing. So continue working row 30 through the end of row 35, just repeating what we did in row 14 and row 15. Now, if you weren't sure, we're gonna chain 1 and single crochet in the back loop only of every stitch across, including the stitch we just slip stitched into that very first stitch space. Now again, it may be a good idea for you to count your stitches, making sure we continue to stay on track with 35 stitches per row through the end of row 35. I will meet you at the end of row 35 to show you what we're doing next. Great, we have just finished row 35 and we are ready to start the whole next section of the tapestry, which will be the post rib stitch. So let's go ahead and tie off row 35, cutting a long enough tail, tying off our work here. Perfect, flipping our work so we are looking at the back, moving all of our tails off to the side here. Grab your cream color. I'm going to start with the cream, long enough tail, slip knot, attach our crochet hook, slip stitch into the very first stitch space just to attach the yarn to the project. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to begin row 36 by chaining just 1 and then making 1 double crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across for row 36. So go ahead and work row 36. Ending row 36 with a total, just 1 loop, with a total of 35 double crochet stitches. All right, just finishing up row 36, and here we go, 35 stitches. Perfect. Okay, so we just finished row 36. Let's go ahead and tie off our color. We're going to do a color change right now. So cutting off the cream color and turning our work. Grab your gold color, long enough tail, slip knot. Perfect. Slip stitch into the top of the very first stitch space to attach the yarn to the project. Great. Chain 1, and we are ready to begin row 37. Row 37, we're going to begin that post rib stitch crochet stitch right now. So yarning over, front post double crochet around that first double crochet stitch. Great. And then back post double crochet around the second double crochet stitch. Perfect. Front post double crochet and back post double crochet. Great. Go ahead and continue this pattern on, and I'll meet you at the end of row 37 to show you what we do next. And ending row 37 with a front post double crochet stitch right there. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and cut off our work. There we go. Tie off. Perfect. And flip our work. Brilliant. Okay, grabbing the next color is going to be the gray color. So grabbing our gray color, long tail, slip knot. All right, slip stitch to attach the new color yarn to the project. Now for row 38, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to look to the row below. We're going to look to row 37, the stitches we worked, and we're going to work the opposite stitch to create this weave effect. So this stitch below looks like a back post double crochet. So I'm going to work the opposite over it and work a front post double crochet stitch over that stitch. Great. Next stitch looks like a front post double crochet, so I'm going to work a back post double crochet stitch over that one. Perfect. And then front post over the back post and back post over the front post. Continue this pattern all the way across for row 38. You should end with a total of 35 stitches at the end of row 38. Last stitch of row 38 here. Perfect. All right, go ahead and cut off your yarn. We are now going to grab the last color, which is this charcoal green color. Tie off row 38, turn our work, create a slip knot, slip stitch in the first stitch space to attach new color. Move all the tails out of the way. There we go. And let's begin row 39. So row 39 will be worked up very much the same as row 38. We will start by chaining 1 and then referring to the stitch below. If the stitch below is a back post double crochet stitch, then we will work a front post double crochet stitch around that stitch. Next stitch is a front post double crochet stitch, so we will work a back post double crochet stitch around that stitch and repeat. That's a back post, so I'm going to work a front post around it, and that is a front post, so I'm going to work a back post around it. Repeat across for row 39, and I'll meet you at the end of row 39 to show you what to do next. And finishing off row 39 right here. Great. Grabbing our scissors, tying off our work, and now we are about to begin row 40. We're going to go ahead and rotate or turn our work. Grab that cream color or Aran color yarn, tail, slip knot, crochet hook, slip stitch into the top of the first stitch space, just like that. Perfect. Great. To start row 40, we will chain 1, and then we will work 1 single crochet stitch in the back loop only of every stitch all the way across. This is a great opportunity for you to count your stitches to make sure you are staying on track. You should end row 40 with a total of 35 stitches. So again, we are going to slip stitch back loop only of the very first stitch that we just slip stitched into, and in each stitch across. $35. Great. To move on to row 41, we will chain 1, turn our work. Row 41, we are going to make 1 single crochet stitch in the left behind loop from row 40. So we should be working in that left behind loop, that green loop right here. You should end row 41 with a total of 35 stitches. $34 and $35. Great. All right, chain 1, turn our work. We are now on to row 42. For row 42 and row 43, all we are doing is making 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across. Just a regular single crochet stitch underneath both loops of the V. When you reach the end of the row, just chain 1 to get onto row 43 and work your way to the end of row 43. I will meet you there to show you what we do next. $34 and $35. Perfect. Just finished row 43. We will chain 1. We will turn our work. Now for row 43, we're going to be doing the stranding method, bringing the gold color in with the cream color. So I'm going to put the tail of the yarn on the side, and I'm going to go ahead and work that gold against the stitches, moving my cream color and making a single crochet stitch around the gold color into that first stitch space. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through for a single crochet. So you see that gold is right there. We're going to go ahead and single crochet in the next 5 stitch spaces for a total of 6 single crochet stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5. But then on the 6th single crochet stitch here, I'm going to go ahead and insert my crochet hook into that 6th stitch space, yarn over, pull through. I'm going to have 2 loops on my crochet hook here, but then I'm going to flip-flop the yarns for a color change. I'm going to now hold the gold color as my working yarn and place the cream or Aran color against the stitches, yarn over the gold color, pull the gold color yarn between or through those 2 loops on my crochet hook. Then I'm going to take this Aran color and pull it to tighten that stitch, and that will create a very clean color change. So when I go to create the gold color bobble stitch, it is a solid gold color. There is no cream color creeping into the bobble stitch. Great. Now we are going to go ahead and yarn over the gold color. Remember, the cream color or Aran color is against the work. Enter into that 7th single crochet stitch or that 7th stitch space. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through only 2 loops on your crochet hook, holding back 1 loop. Then going to do another double crochet just through 2 loops, leaving a loop. So now we have 3 loops on our crochet hook. Repeat. So 3 double crochet started, 4 loops on our crochet hook. Do this 2 more times for a total of 5 double crochet. We're making a 5 double crochet bobble stitch. Perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochet stitches started in that stitch space, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on our crochet hook. Then we will actually take our cream color. We're going to color change again. Take that gold, take that cream, flip flop them. So now the gold is flush against the work. We're going to take that cream color, pull the cream color through all 6 loops on our crochet hook. Take our thumb and push that bobble stitch out. Perfect. And now we continue working 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and in the 6th stitch, we're going to insert a crochet hook, yarn over, grab the cream color. So 2 cream color loops on our crochet hook. Switch colors. So we grab the gold color to pull through the 2 loops on our crochet hook. Then we can pull that cream so the stitch tightens up. And make a 5 double crochet bobble stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 double crochets in the same stitch space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 loops on our crochet hook. Color change again, flip flop those. Yarn over the cream color, pull the cream color through all 6 loops on our crochet hook, push that bobble out, and continue making 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, in the 6th, do our color change. Tighten that down. 7th stitch space, the 5 double crochet bobble stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Color change, grabbing the cream or Aran color yarn, pull through all 6 loops on our crochet hook, push that bobble back with our thumb, and 6 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is where we're doing our color change. Grab that gold color, pull through the 2 loops on our crochet hook, double crochet, 5, bobble, 2, 3, 4, 5, color change, yarn over the cream, pull through all 6 loops, and you're going to go ahead and single crochet in the last 7 stitches of this row. Perfect. And we finished. Go ahead and take your scissors. We're just going to cut the gold color yarn, leaving the cream color yarn alone. Chain 1, turn our work, and now when you look at your bobbles, the bobbles are very clean and they just look like their own little gold spheres sticking out of the work, and it looks really pretty. Perfect. Now we can move on to row 45. So row 45 through row 47, all we're doing is making 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across. Make sure that you are counting your stitches to make sure that there are a total of 35 stitches per row, and we are staying on track. 34 and 35. Great, just finished row 47. For row 48, we will chain 1. We will turn our work. For row 48, we are making 1 single crochet in the back loop only of every stitch all the way across. Go ahead and continue on with row 48, and I'll meet you at the end of row 48 to show you what to do next. And 35. Great, now that we have just finished row 48, let's go ahead and grab our scissors, cut off a tail, tie off our work. Perfect. Flip our work. Look at what the design looks like now. It looks so fun, so fun. Okay, so now let's go ahead and grab our gray color, our light gray color yarn. Okay, slip knot, crochet hook. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to attach this yarn by slip stitching, not into the last stitch of row 48, but we're going to go ahead and come back to row 47 in that left behind loop of row 47, and we're going to slip stitch in that stitch to attach our yarn. Perfect. Chain 1. Now for row 49, we are making 1 single crochet stitch in the left behind loop from row 48. So just continue working 1 single crochet stitch in that left behind loop all the way across for row 49. And I will meet you at the end of row 49 to show you what we do next. 34 and 35. Perfect. Moving on to row 50. We're going to chain 1, turn our work. For row 50 through row 52, all we're doing is chaining 1 and working 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch space all the way across. That is all we are doing. I'll meet you at the end of row 52 to show you what we do next. 34 and 35. Perfect. Just finished row 52. Go ahead and chain 1, turn your work. For row 53, we're going to do the stranding method again. So grab your cream color yarn or the Aran color yarn. Get all these tails kind of out of the way here so they're not confusing. Take the cream color yarn, tail this way, and just lay it over your first stitch space. Taking the gray, we're going to single crochet around that cream color yarn in the first 3 stitch spaces. So 1, 2. When we get to the 3rd stitch space, we will insert our crochet hook into the stitch space, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on our crochet hook, color change, where we now have the gray color against the work and we're holding the cream color. Yarn over the cream color, pull the cream color through the 2 loops on your crochet hook, and then you can take that gray color and pull to tighten that stitch. Perfect. Okay, so now we are going to be working the V or diamond shape stitch. This whole section is working a diamond stitch. We start by double treble, so we're going to loop over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So there's 4 loops on our crochet hook. Go down to row 49, which would be the first gray row right after our protruding white cream color. So 1, 2, 3. Row 49, find the very first stitch of row 49, and we're going to go ahead and front post around that first stitch space. So not the chain 1, but the very first stitch of row 49. Yarn over, pull that yarn around that stitch, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. 3 times, leaving 2 loops on our crochet hook, and then pause. Double treble again, so yarning over once, twice, 3 times, coming back to row 49, and 5 stitches over from where we just worked a front post stitch here. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches over, front post, 1, 2, 3. Now we have 3 loops on our crochet hook here. Grab that gray color. There you are. Grabbing the gray color, yarn over the gray color, pull the gray color through all 3 loops on your crochet hook, and you can pull that white tight to create a much crisper point here at the top. Single crochet around the cream color in the next 5 stitch spaces. So look at the next stitch that is empty. Insert your crochet hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the 5th stitch, we will grab that gray color and then pause with 2 loops on our crochet hook, color change, yarn over the cream color and pull the cream color through the 2 loops on our crochet hook, pull the gray tight so that way that stitch is tight, double treble, 1, 2, 3, come back to the same stitch we already have a post stitch around, and post stitch around that same stitch space, 1, 2, 3, leaving 2 loops on our crochet hook, double treble, 1, 2, 3, count 5 stitch spaces over, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and front post around that stitch, 2, 3, 3 loops on our crochet hook, color change again, bringing that gray color up, placing the cream color down, yarn over the gray color, pull through all 3 loops on our crochet hook, and then take the white Aran color, pull that tight, and it will make that nice tight crisp closure there at the top. And then single crochet around the gray, finding the next open stitch 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets, 5th single crochet, pause with the gray, color change, double treble, 1, 2, 3, same stitch we already have a front post around, 1, 2, 3, double treble, count 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, front post around that 5th stitch, 1, 2, 3, 3 loops on our crochet hook, grab that gray color, yarn over the gray color, pull through all 3 loops on our crochet hook, and pull the cream color to close. Great. Go ahead and repeat this pattern all the way across for row 53. Going to make 5 single crochet stitches, looking for that first empty stitch space. 1, 2, 3, and at the very end of row 53, 1, 2, 3, double treble around the very last stitch from row 49. 1, 2, 3, switch to gray color. Here we go. Yarn over, pull through, pull that tight, and then single crochet in the last 2 stitch spaces of this row. 1, 2 to finish it off. Perfect. Isn't that cool? All right, go ahead and take your scissors, cut off that cream color. We don't need to carry that on. For row 54, we're going to go ahead and chain 1, turn our work. Now row 54 is super important. We are just making 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch space across, but we need to make sure that we count our stitches to make sure we're staying on track and that we only have 35 stitches by the end of row 54. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 32, skip the white, 33, 34, 35. So the way I was able to make it work, if you did struggle with row 54, how I made it work is I just did not put a stitch in any of the white stitch spaces. So I just completely skipped the white and continued on. Again, super important for you to count the number of stitches in this row 54, because that row will mess you up. Okay, so row 55 through row 57, all you are doing is chaining 1, turning your work, and making 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across. Go ahead and continue on to the end of row 57. I will meet you there to show you what to do next. All right, coming upon the end of row 57 here. Perfect. Now what we are going to do, we're not going to chain 1 here. We're just going to instantly turn our work. Let's grab our cream color or Aran color yarn. We will be using the stranding method again for row 58. So take this cream color or Aran color yarn and create a slip knot, and then grab that yarn there, creating a loop, attach the loop to your crochet hook, and slip stitch it through the loop that's already on your hook to join the new color yarn to the project. So that would have been your chain 1 turning chain, getting you onto row 58. We start with the cream color Aran color yarn color first, right off the bat. So go ahead and work a double treble crochet stitch around the top point of that first triangular shape. So wrapping around, yarning over 3 times. If you want, you can take your thumb underneath the double treble stitches from below to help glide your crochet hook underneath them. Yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, leaving 2 loops on your crochet hook. And then you are going to take that gray color change, yarn over with the gray color and pull that gray color through the last 2 loops on your crochet hook for that smooth transition. Grab that cream color Aran color yarn and pull to get rid of any slack. Then align that cream color along your stitches, grabbing that gray color, inserting your crochet hook into the very first stitch space of row 58. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So that's 1 single crochet. Make 4 more single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and at the top of the 4th single crochet stitch, we do a color change. So when we have 2 loops on our crochet hook, we're going to switch colors. Yarn over that cream color, pull that cream color through the 2 gray loops on our crochet hook, grab the gray color and pull to tighten that stitch. Double treble back into the top of this back triangle to complete the V, and then we will also double treble in the top of the next triangle. So double treble, again swooping underneath the stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then pause with 2 loops on our crochet hook. Double treble, swooping underneath. 1, 2, 3. 3 loops on our crochet hook. Switch to the gray color for the color change. Yarn over the gray color, pull the gray color through the 3 loops on your crochet hook. Grab the yarn or the cream color, pull the cream color to tighten up the stitches at the top of the V. Drop the cream color onto the stitch base. Find the next open available stitch that has nothing in it. Single crochet in that stitch and in the next 4 stitches for a total of 5 single crochet stitches. 3, 4, in the 5th single crochet, stop with 2 loops on our crochet hook, color change, yarn over the cream color, pull through the 2 gray colors, pull the gray color if you want to tighten that stitch. double treble backwards on top of this point and double treble on top of the next point. 1, 2, 3, underneath, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, leaving 2 loops on our crochet hook, double treble, underneath, 1, 2, 3, 3 loops on our crochet hook, grab that gray color, color change by yarning over the gray color and pulling the gray color through the 3 loops on your crochet hook, tighten that cream color for the clean point. All right, and then again, find the first open single crochet stitch or stitch space available, single crochet in that, and in the next 4 stitch spaces for a total of 5 single crochet stitches, and repeat all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th single crochet, color change, one, 2, 3, 4. Last stitch would be the 5th stitch, so yarning over, stopping with the 2, yarn over the cream color to pull through that stitch, then double treble in that last top of the triangle, 3, and then coming back to the gray, yarning over and pulling that gray color through the 2 loops on your crochet hook, pull that cream color tight to close off row 58. And that is how we are going to close off row 58. Go ahead and grab your scissors. And now we can officially cut the cream color off, and we are done with the cream color. Continue on with the gray color. So for row 59, we are going to chain 1. We are going to turn our work. For row 59, we are going to make 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across. A regular crochet stitch. Super important here, again, to count how many stitches are in this row, making sure that we end row 59 with a total of 35 stitches. Very, very important to make sure we are staying on count. So let's go ahead and work this up. I know for me personally, working up the last row where there was the white, where there was the addition of the stranding, that I skipped all of the white stitches to keep count. So skipping that first white stitch, starting in the gray stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skipping the white stitch, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 34, and 35, ignoring that last white stitch because we've already reached 35 stitches. We are good. We're on count. Perfect. Grab our scissors, cut the gray yarn. We are now officially done with the gray color. Grab the gold color. Perfect. Yarn over the gray, tie off the work. Turn your work so you're looking at all of these beautiful textures. Grab the gold color, create your slip knot, attach your crochet hook. Perfect. Slip stitch into the very first stitch space to attach the new color of yarn. There we go. I'm going to do that again. Sometimes it just doesn't want to work all smooth and pretty for you. There we go. Chain 1. Perfect. And we are all set up for row 60. For row 60, we are going to work 1 single crochet stitch in the front loops only of each stitch all the way across. So we are going to ignore the back loops. It'll look something like this. Even beginning in the very first stitch, I like to take the claw or the lip of my crochet hook, insert it from the front of the work in, and just grabbing that front loop only. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Next stitch, taking the lip of my crochet hook, just grabbing the front loop only of my V-stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So this is how I'm going to work up my single crochet front loops only in each stitch all the way across. You should end with a total of 35 stitches. I will meet you at the end of row 60 to show you what to do next. Great. Chain 1, turn our work. For row 61, we're going to refer to the leftover loop, the front loop, left over from the row before. And we are going to single crochet in that loop. If it helps, you can take the row before, row 60, and bend it forward. And that will really help showcase or pronounce that left behind loop from the row before. And we are going to continue working 1 single crochet stitch in that front loop all the way across. And this is the repeat pattern for row 61. (34) and 35. Beautiful. All right, chain 1, turn our work. And what we should see now is that protruding stitch from row 60 that's making that line, very similar to what we did with the back loops only, but working the front loops did the same thing. Very, very cool. All right, so for row 62 through the end of row 65, we are just repeating row 60 and row 61, back and forth, 60, 61, 60, 61. I will meet you at the end of row 65 to show you what we do next. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. We're getting so close to finishing. You're doing such a great job. I hope you're loving this. And finishing up row 65. Brilliant. All right, grab those scissors. Cut the gold color yarn, tie off the yarn. Perfect. Turn your work. This is what we are looking at. You should see the 3 different distinct rows that are protruding right here, leaving a very, very beautiful look. Grab your charcoal turquoise gray color. Create your slip knot, attach your crochet hook. Slip stitch into the very first stitch space to attach the new yarn to your project. Great. chain 1, and then for row 66 we are just making 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across. You should end row 66 with a total of 35 stitches. "34, 35, great. Chain 1, turn our work. Now for row 67, we will single crochet in the first stitch space, boom, and the next stitch space will be a extended treble crochet, and it'll look like this. Yarn over twice, insert your crochet hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, but then keep pulling until your crochet hook is in line with the row. It's flattened out. Then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Perfect. And then single crochet into the next stitch space. Repeating this pattern all the way across, extended treble crochet, single crochet, extended treble crochet, single crochet. This exact pattern that we are working for this next section is the extended treble crochet stitch. All right, go ahead and continue across, and I will meet you at the end of row 67 to show you what to do next. All right, we will single crochet in the last stitch space of row 67. Perfect. Moving on to row 68. Chain 2, 1, 2, turn our work. Now we are still continuing that extended treble crochet stitch pattern. In order to make that pattern, the next row will be 1 double crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across. Our chain 2 does count as our first double crochet stitch and will in fact take the space of the first stitch space. Okay, so the first double crochet stitch that we make will actually be made in the second stitch space over. Double crochet. All right, continue making 1 double crochet stitch in each stitch across for row 68. And I will meet you at the end of row 68 to show you what we do next. Great, just reached the very end of row 68. To move on to row 69, we will just chain 1. We will turn our work, single crochet in the first stitch of row 69, and then work that extended treble crochet stitch in the next stitch, and then repeat the pattern where it's single crochet, extended treble crochet, single crochet, extended treble crochet. Okay, so the last 2 stitches for row 69 are going to be extended treble crochet, and the very last stitch will be a single crochet stitch in the second chain of the chain 2 from the row before, because if you recall, the chain 2 did count as our first stitch of that row. So we wanted to make sure that we added a stitch on top of that by making a single crochet in that second chain. Okay, and so what we are going to do is we are going to repeat row 68 and row 69. So 68 being the 1 double crochet stitch in each stitch across, 69 being that extended treble crochet stitch, repeating those 2 rows, 68 and 69, for row 70 through the end of row 73. So you should end row 73 with an extended treble crochet stitch. Sound good? All right, I will meet you at the end of row 73 to show you what to do next. But we are going to chain 2, turn our work, remembering that chain 2 does count as our first stitch, and we'll take the first stitch space of the row. So making our double crochet stitch in the second stitch space. single crochet, last stitch of row 73. There we go. Grab your scissors, cut your yarn, tie off the yarn, and turn your yarn. Oh, look at all of those exciting stitches. It looks so good. All right, grab your gold color, and we are about to make the very last section of this entire tapestry, well, the crocheted part anyway. So tail, slip knot, crochet hook, slip stitch in the first stitch space to attach our yarn. There we go, slip stitch, perfect. Great, so for row 74, we're gonna chain one, and we're going to make one single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way across for row 74. You should end row 74 with a total of 35 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 34, 35. Great, just finished row 74. Now for row 75 through the end of row 80, all we are doing is repeating row 14 and row 15. Now just a refresher, if you don't remember what that was, we are chaining one, turning our work. So row 14 was the single crochet back loop only in each stitch all the way across. And then row 15 was chain one, turn, and work in the left behind loop of each stitch all the way across. So that is all we are doing, repeating row 14, row 15 for row 75 through the end of row 80. I will meet you at the end of row 80 to show you what we do next. 34 and 35. Oh my gosh, we have just finished row 80. Grab those scissors, cut a long enough tail, tie off your work, and we are done with the inner body of the tapestry right now. What I need you to do next, before we can move on, is weave in all of your ends. Yes, it's a lot of ends to weave in here. It's worth it, I promise. So take a second, weave in all of these glorious ends. If you need some help or extra assistance on ideas on how to weave in ends because maybe the technique you're using just isn't the best, I do have a video. I'll put a little card here at the top of the screen, a link that you can click on if you would like ideas on how to weave in your ends. I have like a video full of different options that you can play with. Okay, so go ahead, take a second, weave in all your ends, then come back and I'll show you what we need to do next to this tapestry. All right, great. Now that we have woven in all of our ends, it looks very clean and put together. You may notice that the sides of our work aren't exactly straight. There's a lot of bowing happening, a lot of outer and inner looks to the sides of our work. And the way we're gonna fix that is by blocking our wall tapestry. By blocking the wall tapestry, all the sides will be straight, they'll be even, and it will just add that professional looking touch to the work. We're also going to block this project before adding the dowel rod and the fringe at the end, just so that way we don't mess up any of the fringe and we don't get to the doweling rod wet. We want to make sure that we just handle this and then move on to the additional parts. All right, so next step we're going to do real quick is blocking the intersection of our wall tapestry. I'm going to show how I do it through this quick little reference, though if you want another option for blocking your wall tapestry, I do have a video on blocking for beginners that I will put a link to right here on the top of the screen. And you can reference that video for the three main ways that you can block your project. And I try to show in a very easy to follow way. All right, let's go ahead and quickly block this and move on to the next step. All right, we have just finished blocking our wall tapestry, and we are on to the next step, which is attaching our dowel rod to the top of the wall tapestry. All right, we will also need a yarn needle or tapestry needle. A measuring tape is preferred to help you out, and the gold color or the last color that you used on your wall tapestry. So we are going to be using this gold color to wrap around and around and around this dowel rod. So we will need at least 100 inches of yarn, and that's where the measuring tape comes in handy. Perfect. Great. Now, if you do go to or not enough yarn, you can always attach more, but I like to have more than I need, so that way I don't have to do that. Thread the yarn needle. And before we start messing with the dowel rod, let's turn our wall tapestry around and then attach our yarn to the first stitch space, just so we can attach the yarn to the project. Leave a long enough tail for you to weave in that end at the end here, so that way it is invisible and we cannot see it. There we go. Grab that dowel rod. And what we are going to do is we are going to go over the dowel rod and into the first stitch space. There we go. Then come around the dowel rod and go into the next stitch space. Great, round the dowel rod, and I think you get the point. Go ahead and continue this all the way across. All right, last stitch here. Great, made it all the way around. And then I'm gonna go ahead and tie off, holding back some yarn, twisting it, and ta-da, great. Now you will want to weave in both of those ends, but I'm gonna go ahead and move on. You can weave those ends in after the project is done. So let's look at the top of our project. That looks so neat. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is make the actual wall hanging rope here. And I just take the cream color yarn. I'm gonna use 20 inches. You can use make this however long you wanna make it. So 20 inches. There we go. Not stretching it because that will skew. And I'm gonna go ahead and make 2 strings here just to double up the strength of the wall hanger. But you can choose to do that or not. That's up to you on what you want to do. This is really up to your creative mind on how you want to approach this. So I'm gonna go ahead and twist these 2 together, stick them through the pre-drilled hole here. There we go. And then I'm gonna bring it over and I'm gonna tie a knot. Knot, tie right there, perfect. Come around to the other side, twist those ends together. Insert through the pre-drilled hole. Actually, If you want to, you can also take your yarn needle or tapestry needle, weave that end in if that's not working for you. And it's not working for me this time, so I'm going to go ahead and use this strategy real fast. Makes it so much faster. There we go. And now my yarn is all twisted. I don't want it twisted, so I'm going to come back through. There we go. And then tie a knot on this end. Perfect. And then I will have this really beautiful wall hang. And of course, like I said, you could make this string longer if you so desired. And that is what mine will look like. I'm going to probably take these tails, and I'll probably glue them down on the ends. I'll wrap the tails around and glue them on the ends. Or what you could do is you could just cut them off at the end of the knot there, and that would be fine too. But that's what I'm going to do. And last thing we're going to work on to finish off our amazing wall tapestry is the fringe at the bottom, the fringe at the end. So what I do for the fringe at the end is I will take my yarn, all of the colors, all of the amazing, glorious colors here, and I will 30-inch long strips. So that's up to me. I just cut 30-inch long strips. Here we go. I'm going to do one for you, and then I'm going to just let you continue on the project because this is the last thing that we do to finish this wall tapestry. So 30-inch right there. Great. And then what I do is I will take the crochet hook that we used. I will insert into one of the stitches here at the bottom from the back of the work forward. I will bring the two ends together, take the loop, pull it through, grab the tail, pull the tail through that loop, slowly guide. That way the front of the work shows the really pretty loop on the front and not this look on the front. I want this look to be on the back of the work. That pretty loop to be on the front of the work. All right, and that is how I will attach my fringe. That's how long I'm having my fringe be off of my work, which I think will be super pretty. And I think I'm going to be grouping colors, fat gold, then a whole section of the off-white Aran color. And I'll kind of imitate this section right here with a gray strip, this charcoal green color, and then I'll reverse it with the gray, the cream, and ending with the gold again. That's what I'm gonna do, but again, you do whatever you want to on the bottom here. I hope you had fun, guys. This was so fun to make. I'm so excited. All right, guys, what did you think of the 7-stitch wall tapestry? I know in the process of me making it, each section I was making, I ended up thinking of all the different projects that I wanted to make utilizing that different stitch. It's a great way to play with multiple stitches in a short amount of time and still make something beautiful that you can be proud of. I can't wait for you to tell me what you thought of the stitches, what you thought of the project, if you used the same colors that I did, or if you chose a different color combination. I would love to know what you did differently with your wall tapestry, or what you had fun with this project, what you enjoyed, what you learned, your experience with it. I'd love to hear all of those things in the comment section below this video. Please share. I would love to hear them. If you like this video, please make sure you like or push that thumbs up button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That way you don't miss my upcoming future videos. Check out my membership program. See if there is a membership level that just fits you best. I would love for you to join. Also check out my Instagram. That way you see the behind the scenes. If you like this video, you might also love these videos right here, which are more home decor crochet videos that I've created. Or check out this video right here, which is just a recommended video for you to watch. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, crocheting with me. I always have so much fun crocheting with you. I hope you have the best day, and I will see you with my next video. Bye, guys.